the traveling art guy. I'm live now. It says I'm live. But when I first started up, I was buffering. I'm doing my live stream this morning because it's Sunday morning and everybody needs a sermon. I'm just kidding you. I don't have any sermonish stuff to say. Unless you saw my documentary, I haven't got anything to say other than van dwellers have to all get together and show up at all those meetings. They should think of it as that. I was watching one of the another YouTuber, and he was talking about the bad guys. He called them squatters, not squatters, but he called them homeless people in vans, living a lifestyle and moving around, nomadic. So he was complaining about those people that park their vehicle at like Walmart and pull out, you know what I mean, their awning, put out their picnic tables, and basically use it like a campground. And then when they leave garbage all over the place and maybe throw their pee bottles on the ground, that sort of thing. So the people that give van dwellers a bad name are the ones that everybody sees. They're the most obvious, right? So all of these people in stealth vehicles who park and then leave in the morning and aren't really noticed, those people have to get together and make sure they're noticed. So that's why I keep telling people when there is like a van life meeting, hey, thanks for the oh, Jasper, hey Jasper, now you can hassle me on my live stream. Anyway, what I was saying is that those people who are in stealth vans that are barely noticed don't get counted. Only the people who are really pigs and park for a long time and become a nuisance, those are the ones that get to be seen. They're not stealth. So when the public looks at people, at van dwellers or people that live a nomadic lifestyle, all they see are the ones that cause problems. That's why when we have a van meetup, everybody in a van should consider it their responsibility to show up. So I'm selling stickers today. Today's a sticker seller's day. I have a sticker just like that. That's the one. That's the second one that they created for me. The first one is like way smaller. You see, I told them I wanted that sign on something that was 3 inches high, so they gave me one that was 3 inches long and put the wrong text on it. So I got these for free. But you can buy this guy for $10, and I throw one of these guys in there as well. So for the price of one sticker, you get an extra special one that'll fit on a coffee mug, stuff like that. This one fits on a bus or larger things. So, well, it fits on my bus. Fits on a camper, or you know, on the outside your sticker window. But you get two stickers for the price of one. Anyway, and the way you pay me is to send it to my PayPal, which is in my description below. It might be on the description right now, but it will be on the description later on, or the description of any other video. I don't know what description actually gets put on these live streams. It's some kind of, what do you call it? A default that is set up, that I did set up, but I don't know if I've got my email address on it. But if you need it, right, like this second, it's Gus, G-U-S, at ProShot Photo, PROSHOTPHOTO.com. So there you go. My ticket sales, I mean my sticker sale is on now. I don't know how I'm going to be selling these in the future, but that's the way I'm doing them today. And two for the price of one is just something you cannot, you know how it is. When there's a sale date, you have to buy shit. When it says sale, you have to buy it. Just because it says sale. Who knows? But this will look good on your motorhome. In fact, Jasper better buy one right now. I'm just kidding him. This is for your coffee mug and stuff. Anyway, those people who like stickers, now you know how to get them. There's only 9 people on here, so I probably won't even get one sale out of that. There's 9 people. One of them is Jasper, and he's just going to laugh at me. In fact, on his own live streams, he puts me down. He says I've just got some kind of toy camera and make crappy videos. No, he doesn't. He's my good buddy. We just like kid each other. I'm gonna, what was I gonna get? My Starbucks coffee. Can't chat without my coffee. It's about, I'm at a Starbucks right beside, what do you call it, Walmart in Kelowna, because I stay at Walmart when I'm here. Only because it's central. Oh man, but it's slow, really slow. That's so that I can follow up on any of the comments that have taken place. Now there's only 4 people. Man, this is like I'm talking. I have 2 children, for Christ's sake. Now there's only 3. Everybody's leaving just because I'm selling stuff, I guess. Oh well. Oh well. I did a photo shoot yesterday with a girl who does what do you call it, pageants, and so she doesn't really do a lot of photo shoots, but she's in a lot of pageants. She's a very, very beautiful, pretty girl that kind of knows what to say when you ask a tough question. you know those what do you call it? In the beauty pageants, they say something like, "What should we do about the famine in India in some country in Africa?" And the girl is like, who probably never reads the paper, suddenly has to go, "Oh, that's a huge humanitarian crisis," and start a line of bullshit to try and pretend she knows about it. Anyway, so looks like I'm connected here. I just have to go in and see if I can find my iPad is on Starbucks too. There's my live stream. So now I should be able to see your comments. Then I can go right back. Hi, traveling art guy. And Mike Brown, thanks for that. Forgive my sins. Yeah, that's the collection plate kind of concept, eh? That's cool. Sunseeker says, hi, Viking Van Man said buffering is really bad. But that's good because I heard a word besides skull from him. But skull, Viking Van Man. And Jasper was here, said hi, Gus, and he probably took off. He's got other things to do. Annette Wise, what's up, Gus? And then later I saw Annette said, gotta go back to work. Who's working on a Sunday? Is it Sunday? I think it's Sunday. Who's working on a Sunday? And Minivan Mike says, hi, everyone. Mike Brown says, I take stickers. Questions. Do most community centers in Canada have showers? I'll be traveling through next month, but buffering's bad. That's from Sunseeker. Not every community center has a shower, but any community center that has athletic, like a gym, will have a shower. And their prices are probably like maybe $5 or less, no matter where you go. And any swimming pool has a shower. So any place where they sort of expect you to wear athletic gear or sweat or, they'll all have showers. Oh, Mike Brown says, I'm still here. Yeah, he's a loyal Mike Brown. It's an awesome dude. Am I still buffering now? It like at first I got started and then it started to buffer. Now I'm down to 3 people. I wonder who they are. Minivan Mike. Yeah, how are you doing? Great. Then Mike Brown says, so what have you planned for this month? Well, the next five days, I guess 5 or 6 days, I do photo shoots in Kelowna. I'm supposed to do one today, but I haven't heard from that. See, one of the problems with what I do is that I have to organize dates and schedule dates with people that are very busy. And I schedule the dates over like Instagram or Facebook Messenger. And so a conversation might go like, okay, what day am I free? And so we'll get that down to they're available and I'm available on a day like the 12th, right? So we both they say, okay, I can meet you on the 12th. And then I go, okay, 12th sounds good. And then I don't necessarily hear back from them. And so then later on, because I don't hear back from them, I don't bring up that conversation again to check it. So they're booked for the 12th, and then the 12th comes along, or the 11th comes along, and I write to them to confirm it. And I look at the conversation, and it was not fully complete, confirmed, if you understand what I mean. It was sort of, in other words, it could be iffy. So then the 11th comes along, and I write them a note and say, we've got a photo shoot tomorrow. Y'all ready? And I don't hear from them. That's the first sign that I won't see them the next day. So I'm supposed to do a photo shoot this afternoon. I would normally go to the lake anyway, but since I haven't heard from her, I won't be able to go to the lake where I'm going to shoot her. I'll have to sort of hang out somewhere else, right? So I don't necessarily go to these beautiful spots every day, because I start out at in this case I start out in a Walmart parking lot. And that's because in Kelowna and around Kelowna, the bylaw enforcement officers on the beautiful properties like the lakes, the little pullouts on the lakes and things, they're pretty effective at getting in. They come around and check, so they're pretty effective of keeping me out of those places, at least overnight. So on those days like today where I'm probably doing, or no, I shouldn't say probably, I'm probably not doing the photo shoot that I thought I would be doing, and therefore I'm kind of like stuck in limbo. Anyway, so what's happening this week is I do photo shoots in Kelowna until Friday, and then on Saturday I go to, or Friday or Saturday I go to Kamloops to do a few more, and then the next day I'm back in Vancouver doing another photo shoot. And then I'm trying to book stuff for the 1st of September on Vancouver Island. The reason I do that, like book stuff, is that like I like to travel a little. I like to travel, but I don't necessarily like to go boondocking so much. In other words, I like to have people around me, and I like to be able to buy my Starbucks in the morning. And I have to upload stuff. I have to have Wi-Fi anyway. So I'm not really the guy that, sort of looks for places to hide out. We all have different ways of living. So mine is kind of a urban camper, except when I've got a long haul trip. Like if I go down to, when I go down south again, I'm going to go along the Pacific Coast Highway, the Highway 1 or 101, and in that case I'll be driving like 10 miles. I want to go as slow as possible again, so I'll drive maybe 10 miles to another highway pullout and stay there. In that case I'm boondocking, but there's always, there's generally a city that I can visit within a day or two that allows me to upload the videos. So in that case, I would then spend a bunch of nights sort of boondocking, and then end up in the excuse me, and then end up in a city, in a small town or something like that. Now we're down to four viewers. I'm excited. Anyway, so we've got, who have we got here? We got Minivan Mike, said hi to everyone. Mike Brown, what have I got to do this month? And yeah, so I got time to spend at the beaches. That's Lindsay Juarez. How much to fill your gas tank? Well, My gas tank is about 150 Canadian. Remember, this is the reason I'm here. I'm selling Gus and the Bus stickers. $10. You send it to my email address, which should be in the description. And when you buy this one that goes on your van or on your motorhome, you also get at least one of these thrown in for coffee mugs and that kind of stuff. Remember, that's the reason I'm here. Good thing that live streams run later on. I actually end up with a lot of viewers watching the live stream later on in the day or in the week. So it could, instead of being seen by the four people that are here, it'll be seen by 200 to 300 people probably, or at least that's the way it usually works. I hope everybody watched the video that is sort of entitled a documentary. I'm not sure if it was the last one or the one before. Yeah, it'll be the one before. The last one, I think, was the Woohoo Girls. The ones, love you, Gus and the Bus. Anyway, the previous one was a kind of a documentary about van dwellers and people. Hey, Mike, thanks a lot. More gas tank challenge. Yeah, that's that's part of the reason I have to sell my stickers. I need gas. Anyway, so what was I talking about? In that video, I talk about how the housing crisis, which is obvious to everybody, the crisis exists and rents are going up because there's too many people trying to rent houses. Well, if a lot of those people looking for houses moved into vans, then the housing crisis would go away if enough people found an alternative lifestyle to renting an apartment. And in the long run, it's the cities have to accept that living in a vehicle is the answer to the other problem they're always complaining and always saying they're trying to do something about, which is providing housing. Since they can't provide housing or affordable housing at a rate fast enough for people to move into it, that the high rents will always exist unless thousands of people move into their vans. And when thousands of people move into their vans, they kind of have to announce it. They don't, if they're stealth and they're never seen, then nobody gets to count them. In some of these, like in Vancouver, they think there's maybe 300 or 500 people living in vans, but there's thousands. And the reason they don't see the 1,000 is that most of those people are successful at being stealth. In other words, they don't tell people, no one sees them, no one knows they're there, so therefore they don't get counted. So my video was kind of about, I guess what I would kind of like to see in the long run is van dwellers and RVers and stuff consider it their responsibility to go to meetups, just so that they will be counted. They probably won't be seen, and there's no policeman there like going around checking out license plates, because if you're parked, like in Vancouver, if you're parked at that beach, it does not mean you're a van dweller. You're going to the park. So no one sort of gives up their cover if that's what they're worried about, just by attending. But if they attend, then they get counted. And then these cities start to realize there's not like, a few hundred people in vans. There's thousands of them. And those thousand basically have a huge voice if they're known to be thousands, but they have no voice if they're like, maybe there's 100 of them. No one pays attention. So that's why I think that the stealth van dwellers need to find a way to be counted. Now, it might be to show up at meetings or some, how would I put it? Some organization starts to represent them, meaning one of the stealth. I'm an old guy. I don't want to start new stuff. I don't want jobs. I don't want to make a job. But if we started to organize into some, like right now, there is probably a bunch of RV associations. They will be paid for by the landlords, the RV parks, and the people who sell RVs. So those guys will try to make it against the law to have a converted RV. They'll also try to make it against the law to park anywhere but in their RV park. So those guys, the RV associations that exist now, probably work against all van dwellers. But if there was a van dweller association, it could speak for hundreds of thousands of people in North America. And when cities learn that there's 100,000 or more van dwellers, they will all start to invite us to their town. Like Sturgis invites all the motorcycle guys. When at the beginning, when motorcycle guys went there to meet, they were trying to kick them out of town because they thought they were a pain in the butt. Now they're a huge economic party, and the only reason Sturgis exists. Anyway, back to what's going on here. Cities also need to have areas to park your vans. Like my city doesn't like vans parked on streets even during winter. Well, that's the point, is that the city wants to kick the van dwellers out of the town at the same time they don't build apartments for them. So if they don't build apartments or keep them affordable, then where are these guys supposed to be? So the city has to recognize that because they failed, we're reconnected. Anyway, Mike Brown, the cities have screwed up. I could use a word that starts with F up, but the fact is that they did not supply housing for people. Like a city invites somebody like Amazon or big huge companies into their town, that companies that are going to employ thousands of people. So they invite they incentivize that company to come to their town. But their town doesn't have housing, and they can't make thousands of apartments. So people who work at this new company they invited that new company because it's going to pay huge tax dollars. So it's a huge benefit to the city. But if the people who come to work there don't have an apartment to live in, they have to find an alternative. And in this case, the alternative is van life. So the city should be encouraging. It sounds ridiculous, but the city should be encouraging van life because it takes the pressure off them to produce apartments. So the city should be talking to businesses and saying, look, we want your business to allow people to spend the night there. Duh. Or there's city parks. The city could actually just simply say, you're allowed to spend the night here, but we're coming around at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to ticket everybody in that parking lot between 7 and 8. So you can spend the night, but get the hell out by 7. No problem. Then the park is free for everybody who wants to use it during the day, which might be one of those van dwellers. But it doesn't matter. The point is that they're providing housing, and they're providing an easy way to make sure there's no squatters, nobody staying in their motorhome for weeks and months, right? So they just get them all out of there at 7 o'clock in the morning. They can all come back at 8. Simple. And some cities do that. And for me, that's really simple because I get up in the morning. I get up way earlier than that. And I go to Starbucks, have a coffee, and come back. And when I do that, no one cares anyway. So life would work out really well if the cities would understand that van dwelling is a viable alternative, and the only way they'll understand that is that if all the stealth van dwellers all meet up in the park for a day with placards that say, we're an alternative to the housing crisis. Done. Life gets better just by going out and what do you call it? What do they call it? It's like a protest. So if it looks like a protest and it looks viable, then all van dwellers all over North America will suddenly have cities promoting their lifestyle. But because we hide and we use the word stealth and we hide away, or when we say we, I've got my name on the side of an old school bus. I don't hide from anybody. No one hassles me. No one gives me a bad time. But the people in, sort of stealth vans that are hiding, they don't allow the public to see them. The only people that the public notices is the guy in a 40-year-old motorhome that's all falling apart with the tarp on the top, that parks somewhere and sets out his picnic stuff outside and squats on that piece of property. And the city can't get rid of that squatter because he's called homeless. Anyway, you can see the problem. City could solve it, and the cities should solve it. They should be in favor of van dwelling, like I said, because it's one of the solutions to the housing crisis. So what do we got for notes here? Lindy Warroz says, "I'm afraid you are trouble sticking stickers in certain places. Be careful." Oh, you're suggesting I shouldn't be putting stickers on public property and stuff like that. What they'll do is they'll clean it off. That's what city employee or the cities or communities employee. Graffiti is painted all over stuff everywhere, or they just wear, and people painting graffiti, it's not worth it for them to track them down. It like washing trouble either off takes like 4 minutes, or not even wash for life. They might even wash off with after 5 rains, or they peel off easy. They stare you through. There, I now got it resumed, only to say thanks, guys. Goodbye. You're going to see my email address down below to get both of these. This one, this is my standard sticker. It's 3 inches high. This is the mistake they made, but it happens to be perfect for the mug. So I'm including both of these for $10, and you can pay me at my PayPal. My PayPal email address is gus@proshotphoto.com, and you'll be able to see it in the description below. Have a great Sunday, and I'm sorry I didn't really have a sermon for you, but I did send around the collection plate which says, "Buy these things from me." Have a good Sunday, everybody, and sleep free. Now I gotta close this. There we go. Close it.